look at you. I have water today. Cheers.
Boo.
Welcome to the chaos.
Hello, I'm Lorrie. I have wine.
And I'm Mel. And I'm Mel. I have H2O.
Lame.
With a little bit of alcohol in it.
Wait, let me raise my desk a little bit. Whoop.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I don't even use my standing desk.
I used it. I got the balance board. I've been using it.
Let's see it. Okay.
I've been using it. It feels like a workout for my calves.
I was literally gonna ask you, how is it on your calves?
Because this is like the cheapest one I could get on Amazon. It's like $16.
Sure. Yeah.
No, it's good because like I can find the balance point, and I can stand. But it's kind of when I'm waiting for something to load, I just kind of like spin around on it.
Nice.
Nice. I got it. I'm slowly using it. It is what it is. Trying to somewhat be active, I guess. Because I need to be active. Hey. My body hurts, and it means that I need to do stuff.
Yeah. So you came back from Atlanta?
Yeah, last night. I got home at like 11:30.
It's for a wedding, right?
Yeah, we went to a wedding on Sunday on Charlie's cousin.
Okay.
And it was fun. It was a good time. It was in Atlanta, and like there was a cigar bar and a hookah bar, which was interesting. I thought it was fun.
That's
we got a hookah. Cool.
I
mean, one of the bridesmaids was like, "Oh, this is Atlanta." I was like, "Oh, is that a thing?" Okay.
Oh, it's like an Atlanta wedding thing. Is that like common? That's hilarious.
I guess. Yeah, it was a good time. Charlie got a little tipsy, a little more than tipsy, maybe.
Whoa!
I had to stay a little bit more sober just to make sure that we can't both be drunk because it's around family that I haven't met. Like I met some of them, but not all of them. So
you were trying to be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, So
okay.
I let her get drunk, but I like had like 3 drinks. And, that's like nothing to me.
That's nothing for you. That's the equivalent of half a drink for you.
And so that's like all I had, and then I had water, and I let her do her thing.
You let her get a little saucy.
She got a little saucy.
Okay. Okay. But it was nice. It was a good time. Nice.
It was a good time. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What do you do?
What did I do? I feel like I had a packed weekend too. Friday I went to an Indian restaurant with my boo. And then Saturday we did like a whole bunch of like errands together. We went to like BBQs. But then Sunday we had brunch with his parents.
Oh.
And his 2 nephews. Which was like really cute and fun. But then we went to like the basketball court with the nephews. Like he bought him a couple basketballs and we went to the court and we played some ball and like didn't realize that, I'm low-key a baller. So, like, come at me. See me on the court.
You asked for a challenge?
Just kidding. Like, I probably like made it in like maybe 3 or 4 times and I just called myself a baller. But I'm not a baller.
It's like how you're a bike rider now, too. You're a baller and a bike rider. You got all the B's.
Lorrie, it's a different year for me, okay? I'm going to end the year an athlete.
You're going to go, I'm an athlete?
I'm an athlete, dude. Come on. You can't even touch me. See me on the court. See me on the court. No, but it was cute. His little nephew's like a prodigy, though. He was making them like by doing this.
Oh, granny tosses? I'll do a granny toss. I mean, that's not how I shoot, but I'll do it.
That's what they're called, granny tosses?
Yeah, I mean, it works sometimes.
He was making them in. The kid's like 8. I was like, okay. Prodigy. Well, yeah, it was cute. But yeah, it was like a cute little low-key, wholesome weekend. I'm still kind of like getting over a cold. So if I sound a little nasally, that's why. I still have mucus.
I mean, you sound fine, but I'm going to keep saying you sound disgusting just to...
Yeah, right. Because I feel disgusting. I feel like I'm either like hacking up mucus or swallowing it. So that's fun. Yeah.
Hot.
Well,
so hot.
Mucus is so sexy.
So hot.
Yeah.
Ew, God. Why?
Yeah. That was my weekend. Did you guys do anything else besides the wedding?
No, I mean I was only there for 2 nights. Yeah, so I didn't really like explore Atlanta at all. So we just really went to the wedding.
Yeah, I had such a crappy Atlanta experience once. I mean, like not all of it was bad, but I went there with a friend for a weekend, and it was like, I don't know why we decided to do this, but it was like a cold February weekend, like a really cold weekend, and it was cold as fuck there. We went to like some gardens that they have over there, like for what? Because like nothing was open because it was like in the dead of winter. Nothing was green because it was in the dead of winter, and and the only kind of
was it in the dead of winter?
Dead of winter. It was so freaking cold. It was so cold. So we only got to do like, I think we went to like an African American museum, which is cool. But the worst part of that trip was having bed bugs in the hotel room we were staying.
No.
Yeah, dude. I never have experienced that before then, and I didn't know what was happening. We were there for like 2 nights, and the first night I was like, dude, like, what is this? Like, I'm pretty itchy, but like, there can't be any mosquitoes here, right? Like, it's the dead of winter. And I just like kept waking up itchy, and like she did too. So I was like, okay, just like maybe like a random mosquito had to be, or like some spider bites. We chalked it up to that. The last night we were there, we woke up swollen. There were just like trails of bites on our arms and our legs. And like then we actually found one, and I was like,
what is that?
I was like, what is this? Is this what we're supposed to be looking for? Like, is this supposed to be that small? Like, I'd never seen one. And I was like freaked out. Yeah, we rioted to the hotel clear.
Yeah, I've only had like one friend that had to experience bedbugs twice.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know that recently Paris has like a state of emergency of bedbugs in Paris right now?
No way.
Yeah, straight up. And it was just Fashion Week, so there's a ton of tourism, and I'm slightly nervous that people brought it back to New York. I'm a little nervous about it.
That's insane.
There's a literal state of emergency in Paris about it.
When did they issue it?
I don't know. I just heard about it this past week. They just did it this past week. Like, apparently everywhere you go, like, because bedbugs usually, furniture, whatever.
Yeah.
But apparently they're like everywhere you go right now. And it was just Fashion Week in Paris. So I'm like, are there people from New York who went there and came back to New York? I hope so, God, we don't get like
100%.
New York's already been in it, man. We had floods on Thursday. There's just been shit. I can't have bedbugs, bro.
No, bedbugs is the end of me.
I've never had to experience them, but my friend has, and they just sound terrible, and I don't want any of it.
It's not fun. I'll tell you that much. It's not fun,
bro. Like, fuck.
The way they latch on to everything, and like you gotta kill them.
Well, there's swarms, and the only thing you can really do, heat and diatomaceous earth is. I also know that is a thing. I use them for fleas. They dry them out. Diatomaceous earth is just like it's like, I can't describe it. It's not sand. It's just a sort of dirt, I guess. It dries them out.
I didn't even spell that. I'm like, oh my God. That's such a crazy word.
It's because I had to get rid of fleas one time with a pet, with like my old cat.
Wow.
So I used that. I just spread it on the floor and it dries them out and they die. And then you vacuum them.
Wow. They die by literally suffocating?
Yeah, basically they breathe it in and they're just...
Good. You should
You know, like an asthmatic and smoke kind of a situation.
No.
Yeah, that's a hint for you guys. If you got bed bugs or fleas, diatomaceous earth, it's cheap.
It's not. I was just literally gonna say that it's cheap.
It's cheap. But you do have like, you know, dust, so you gotta like make sure you have another room you can chill
in.
Exactly. While it takes effect before you can vacuum it.
LOL. That's just like ridiculous. But yeah.
State of emergency in Paris of bedbugs, guys. Just FYI, if you have been to Paris recently, check yourself.
Please, thoroughly, because we don't need another epidemic here.
I think New York had a problem with bedbugs like years ago, actually, like a pretty bad one also.
No. I want no parts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We just had floods. We gotta get a break at some point.
Please. And like, it's just so funny. I feel like we're so desensitized to every big news that comes out because like now the aliens thing is out. Now it's like the government.
I don't even care about aliens because that doesn't directly affect me. You know, I don't give a fuck. But luckily I live on a hill and the flooding didn't affect me. But like Lower Manhattan sucked it. Park Slope got it bad.
Dude.
Prospect Park and Park Slope, ooh, bad. My boss's basement flooded.
So my mom lives like on the bottom of a hill, and right by her job, it gets insanely flooded. And when I tell you, she had to basically swim to work.
Dude, people were literally swimming, and also the water is gross. Just like there's the trench foot and the infections from Thursday and Friday are probably all over the place. Absolutely. Because New York waterways have there's a point where sewage starts seeping in, and then there you go.
Gross. It's disgusting. Yeah. I feel bad for everyone that had to go to work that day.
I feel bad for everybody that had to deal with the water. I'm very lucky to live in a spot that doesn't deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, you still see comments on the internet, like TikTok and other places, like, well, it's like, that stuff's fine, whatever. I was totally dry up there. I'm like, because it didn't happen to you, you don't think it's real? Do you not see enough video about it happening?
Yeah, it was freaking insane. It was actually insane. I was like, wow, I'm thankful that I don't have a basement to deal with. I'm thankful that like I don't have to.
Well, I mean, I live technically in a basement, but I'm on a hill, so.
But like, you're fine, you know, like. Thankfully.
I told Charlie when we look for a place, we either have to be on a hill or a higher floor, essentially.
Yeah.
That's my requirements now.
Yeah.
I mean, also Manhattan's sinking, so, you know, and climate change. So I gotta be on a hill or on a higher floor.
For sure. 100%. But,
all right. Let's move on. That was just the week, essentially. So you had a topic.
So yes, I wanted to just like chat about, I feel like pop culture just like floods the media all the time. And I feel like everyone has opinions about whatever gets like super overhyped and like, or like thoughts about what's overrated or whatever. So I think we would kind of have like a little discussion about the hot people online or things. Just chat about it. So I think that everyone's been talking about what some people would think is their queen, Miss Beyoncé Knowles. You know, she just wrapped up her tour and she is releasing a movie on it December 1st.
I mean, that's not the first time someone has done that, though.
No, it's not. But because it's Beyonce, it's big.
I mean, I might watch it because I wasn't going to pay $600 for a ticket.
100%. I'm not doing that. I'm not that strong of a Beehive member.
No, me neither. You know, I'm not meant to be there physically.
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of people that would give up their left tit to go to the tour and probably have.
Plenty of people did.
You know what I mean? Their rent money, their like whatever it is, they're gonna throw it there, and I'm sure that they have.
Sorry.
All right. Bless you. I'm not that type of person, but I'm also a big fan of the B. Miss Beyonce knows. I'm not gonna lie. I am like on the scale of like 1 to like Beehive exclusive fan will give up left tip for tour. I am maybe like in the middle.
I might be slightly lower than you, and it's not because I don't think she's great. I love her as a person. I don't know, she's really great, but I don't know as much as their music as maybe some other queers and other people in general know.
Yeah, fair.
I don't care. You can put on a Beyonce song. I can instantly recognize her voice and just be like, all right, it's probably a jam. All right. You know, that kind of situation.
And that's what it is. I feel like I know like most of her songs, I want to say.
I know a good amount. Don't get me wrong. I know a good amount of her songs, but I can't be knowing the names of the songs instantly,
for sure.
You know?
For sure. And like I think that I am such a huge fan and I know most of her discography. Also Destiny's Child, you know your roots. But I don't listen to Beyonce like all the time on my own. Like she is not the person that I go to and I play her music. But do I know her music? Hell yes, I do.
Well, it goes into the discussion of how people idolize celebrities, especially. Because, look, I like a lot of celebrities and it'd be really cool to meet them. I have met a few in my life. You know, I worked in the NBA and I was a sports fan. So, you know, I've met quite a bit. I realize that I don't react super crazy when I meet celebrities, but other people do. And that's perfectly fine. I'm not judging you for it at all. But it is crazy how I think what my form of like obsession or like craziness about celebrities, because I think I see a lot of them, like their interviews and other stuff, and I think they seem like a generally cool person and they seem just kind of sick, you know, and I love their music or their movies or whatever it is. But there's just this whole culture of putting celebrities in a whole different pedestal. And I love Beyonce or like a Taylor Swift, but it is honestly insane, the crowds. I mean, Taylor Swift is insane to me. I'm not a Swiftie, you know, attack me if you want to. And I'm not saying she's bad at all. Trust me, if there was a cheap enough ticket for me to just witness the craziness of a Taylor Swift concert, I would have gone. Because I also know enough Taylor Swift songs to like, you know, jam along, you know? Yeah. But honestly, it's kind of crazy the effect she has though. There's like, she makes sold out arenas and then the parking lot is also full of people, you know?
Yes.
And it's kind of scary a little bit.
Yes.
This obsession people have of celebrities is just, it's insane. I love Taylor Swift and I think she's talented, but at the same time, it's like I've seen a lot of extremely talented artists in my life and just never have seen this level of like absolute craziness. And unpopular opinion probably amongst the Swifties is that I did see like a TikTok where this girl was like, Taylor Swift uses feminism in a way that when it benefits her, it's really great, but when it doesn't, she'll come out. Because if you use a Taylor Swift song in a thing, copyright, they will get you for that shit. You know, a YouTube video, a TikTok, unless it's like trending or something. Maybe she's up for it, but like use that shit on a YouTube video, your ass is gonna get a copyright notice straight up.
It's because like she doesn't like own her masters or
something like that. I think so. Like it's just, but it's like, you know, you're kind of right though.
You know, I have nothing against her, right?
Me either.
I've
but
gone
they're kind of right though. You know,
I think there are a couple things that, you know, we can say about her. You know, but I feel like she's earned her way to the top. And like, I think that.
But the obsession that people have with it is so crazy.
So about that.
Her or Beyonce or celebrities in general where people, like, I'm obsessed in a way that I just like, oh, you know, like, you'd be dope. But I don't think I'm obsessed in the way that other people are obsessed, you know?
Yeah, I think the whole, like, calling your favorite artist, like, mom dad, like harassing them.
I feel like it's also
significant
weird.
other.
Sometimes it's funny because you can tell people are joking about it, but then you can also tell when people are serious about it. It's like,
yeah, and I feel like most of the time they be serious about it. Like,
that's true.
Like it's a little scary. It's a little scary to like be that person like with that level of fame and like get harassed just because you're in close connection to that person in some way.
I also wonder too, because I still see celebrities, they are still people, you know, at a level, obviously.
They're not God.
It's obvious that when you get into something like this, your privacy does not exist. Privacy does not exist. So it is crazy when people just attack celebrities like as if they know them. But it's like, you know, people are still gonna be people. People make mistakes. It's like a whole thing.
Right.
And your whole privacy is just out the door. You don't have it. You don't. Like, if I had some sort of talent that I thought I could market to be a celebrity, I don't know if I would ever do it. Because I just don't know how much of my... I mean, like, you and I already have a public podcast, which is small anyways. But even if... say this podcast got really popular, I mean, I'm sure there's an amount of our privacy that's not gonna... depending on how much we share on the internet, that's gonna be analyzed or whatever, or seen by people. But the celebrity status is like, I don't know if I'd be able to handle it. Like, if you go into this not mentally well either, you know, like a Britney Spears or an Amanda Bynes, I don't blame them at all for... As I got older and started understanding it more, is that it's just they were in such bad situations and it was all just craziness. And it got to them mentally, because they probably weren't good mentally before that.
No.
I mean, Britney Spears and Amanda Bynes, I think, both performed as children, and they just never had a regular life, really.
Yeah, I think that the only Disney star that I feel like got sort of kind of like came out the other side sort of unscathed and seemingly healthy is Hilary Duff. And I think, like, besides that, I feel like everyone else.
But even her, I feel like she's opening up about stuff on podcasts and stuff. Like Chrissy Romano, who was Kim Possible, and Ren Stevens. She has a podcast. I think she's had Hilary Duff on it. I don't remember. But other podcasts, I feel like Hilary Duff has kind of spoken about stuff like that. Or just,
I've seen it too.
Being younger. And like also How I Met Your Father got canceled, and I actually kind of like that show.
I liked it too. You know, I started watching the next season, but like I kind of fell off just because like I wasn't in the mood to watch that kind of stuff.
No, I get it. I have to be in the mood a lot.
Yeah, right. Especially for these like sitcom-y kind of type of shows. Yeah, I liked it too. That sucks. I really liked her on it. I just like seeing Hilary Duff act.
I also just really like Hilary Duff. I don't know why. I mean, I think most especially millennial women, agree that we all have a consensus that we like Hilary Duff. We all watch Lizzie McGuire at some point.
I feel like Hilary Duff.
You know, when it rains, I still assume Coming 100%. Clean.
100%. I saw a podcast. Or not. I didn't see a podcast. I saw a clip of a podcast or someone talking about it, that Hilary Duff basically paved the way for everyone else that came after her. Like, she paved the way for Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato and Miley Cyrus. Like, she was one of the first people to do music like that, like pop music on Disney Channel, and that it like actually took off. But apparently, like, she wasn't getting any radio play, and she got basically like blackballed from radio stations, and she didn't make the numbers. Like, all the songs, they didn't chart, any of them. Like Fly, that one, like Coming Clean, like all of those songs that we love her for, none of them charted because she got no radio play. Isn't that nuts?
That's true. I can feel that. I mean, I will say her vocals aren't as strong as some of the other artists, perhaps, but like, you know,
your vocals have to be strong,
but they're bangers, you know.
They're bangers. Like, they're amazing songs.
I mean, I'll bring up J-Lo as a person who doesn't have the vocals to be... I mean, there's a lot of artists that are really dope because they have catchy music.
Yep.
Granted, I guess J-Lo had Ashanti sing on a couple of her songs.
And Christina Milian, too.
Ooh, and Christina Milian. You know, Diplo bringing us...
Apparently, yeah.
I like Christina Milian.
Christina Milian wrote Play for J-Lo. Play.
I gotta say though, J-Lo probably is just a really good businesswoman, and I'll give her that. You know, 1000%. Also, she's still hot, so I'll still say that.
1000%. Which brings me to our next person, Kim Kardashian.
I never followed the Kardashians ever. I wasn't into their show. I watched like maybe a couple episodes because of friends. And I just the only thing I knew about the Kardashians really was Rob seemed like the most introverted, and that poor guy is in this family.
Yeah, poor Rob.
Poor Rob.
I would catch.
I didn't really follow them at all, especially you know when Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian was like. I just didn't follow. I knew the show was out. I gotta say, obviously, Kris Jenner marketed her family to a point that they're rich and famous. I'll give her that, but can you understand the exploitation that she had of her own family to do this kind of shit? I mean, they bought into it, obviously, but at the same time, this woman really, like, exploited her own family to do this whole thing. I mean, they're rich and famous, so I guess, you know, whatever.
They're rich and famous, and, like, they're famous for being famous, basically.
Lifestyles of the rich and the famous.
You know, I watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians when I was like younger, like random episodes, you know, when like Kylie Jenner still looked like this.
Oh yeah, when she looked like a normal teenager, you mean?
Right. So
did Kendall get any work done? She's kind of naturally pretty, so
I think she did get like some kind of like Botox or something.
Maybe not. Well, Botox really is honestly not that much. A lot of people, Botox is pretty normal. I know people think Botox is like your face, but honestly, people get a lot of just little micro doses of Botox just for wrinkles and nothing crazy. And I know a lot of people think that shit is crazy, but I think it's fine.
It's nothing.
Unless you're like injecting your whole fucking face with like a ton of filler and shit. That's different.
I just feel like
Botox is just teeny bit, little teeny bit.
I feel like it gets to be much when like it visibly looks like you've enhanced.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Not a lot of people do that though. Right. Botox is actually pretty common, and it's in very tiny doses.
Yeah.
It's pretty normal for regular people.
I honestly don't think she got that much work done if she did.
No, I think she's pretty naturally pretty. She's also pretty, tall.
Like, yeah, she's a model.
This motherfucker. Yeah, you're tall.
Exactly.
I'm sure I can kind of understand from Kylie's point of view having your tall, pretty sister.
I mean,
you know,
maybe she had some kind of like complexities. Like there was a shoot that I saw. Like they were shooting promo for the new season of the show that they have, and Kylie and Kim literally look like twins.
I mean,
like they are identical.
Also, Rico Taquito, on one of the he actually brings it up on several episodes. He's like, "What does Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner even talk about? What do they even talk about?"
Dude, I don't even know. I'm trying to figure out what Kendall and Bad Bunny talk about, if they even speak to each other.
Bro, what do they talk about?
I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I'm trying to be happy for them.
There's also like a language barrier. Like,
dude, no freaking clue. I'm here like, how does it work? How do they work?
Aside, he obviously speaks English. I don't know if she speaks Spanish though. You know,
but Bad Bunny's English is a very like,
yeah, but I feel like he at least understands it though. The thing about bilingual people who didn't have English as a first language is that I feel like they understand more English than an English speaker would going the other way. Because I feel like they're trying really hard because they're in a place where English is pretty dominant. So I just feel like it's different from a different language to English, and English is something else. Because I feel like English speakers just do it for the fun of it, to learn languages and stuff like that. And not because they literally need to speak that fucking language where they're at. I'm just saying. Us English speakers, especially in the US, we're fucking little privileged little ass bitches. And as a person who is not bilingual, I mean, I used to speak better Spanish, but it's pretty much gone at this point. And still attempting to learn Tagalog to speak with my family. It's like, I will say, I still think it's a harder time that half my family learned English second. So
yeah, for sure. I think like knowing like how to like study languages now that I do, I feel a lot more sympathy for my mom because she still doesn't know English, poor woman, and she's lived here all my life. And so like I get her struggle because learning a second language is really hard when you're used to speaking your one language all your life.
I think Bad Bunny understands more Kendall Jenner than Kendall Jenner understands him. I'm saying. That's what I think.
I get
That's
it.
That's my opinion.
I just like don't like sometimes. Have you seen the videos of them being in that concert? I don't know if it was like a Drake concert or something.
Oh yeah, and they were being all like touchy and like
yeah, and like Bad Bunny whispered something in her ear, and she almost like fucking fell.
All the memes about her are really funny. They're like, "Ooh, he whispered some nasty shit in Spanish."
Yeah, people in the comments are like, "So what he told her? Did she even understand it?"
Who knows? Maybe it sounded dirty enough in Spanish that in her mind she's like, ooh.
Listen, all I know is that the sex might be fire. All I know,
or it's boring. I feel like there's no in between. I feel like it's either gonna be like crazy or it's gonna be boring.
I think it's gonna be crazy. I think it's crazy. I think they're having amazing sex. We shouldn't speculate. I'm so sorry, but I think about this sometimes. Like, don't you ever like see a couple and you're like, okay, I wonder what kind of sex they're having. But like in a like
personally don't. But I personally don't. But when me and Charlie, why did I say like Charlie?
When me and Charlie.
Charlie, I speak English.
Do you?
I speak English. But like we went to that Kehlani concert last year, the year before, I don't even remember anymore. Last year, and made some friends. And one of the girls was like, "Okay, I hope this is weird, but I'm not gonna lie. Have you ever looked at a couple and you were just like, they probably have great sex?" And she basically said that about us, and I didn't know how to take it. I was like, "Thank you, I guess." And we laughed because it was funny. It was funny, but I was just like, I mean, okay, yeah, sure.
I think about it all the time. I'm sorry.
I guess I personally don't.
If I like meet a couple for the first time, I'm picturing it, but like in a real like not trying to be like horny.
No, I get it. No, I definitely get it. But I guess I just don't personally think it.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I just think about it sometimes because I'm like,
I'm more of like I feel like I'm more a negative person because I'll see a couple like if they seem like they vibe weird, I'm like, are they happy or not?
Oh no.
I'll be like, are they good? I'll be like, are they good? Sorry, I'm more negative, I guess. I'm just like, are they good? I don't know.
That's so interesting. Oh my god, that should be like a psych test about your personality. You know what I mean? Like, what are you thinking about? Okay, anyways, just to get back on track, the Kardashians.
Oh yeah, my bad.
So yeah, I feel like I don't have anything against them. I know that they could be problematic in some ways. As far as like beauty and like how they exploit beauty and how they exploit like certain bodies, yes, all that stuff. But I will respect the marketing. I will respect the business.
Yeah, like I'm saying, the business model, it works, so whatever.
Like, it works. I haven't seen the new season, but I saw a clip of Kourtney like kind of like talking to Kim on the phone, and Kourtney's kind of like basically telling her like, I'm done with all of you. Like,
I feel like Kourtney's been done with a lot of them. From what I've seen of clips that I've ever seen on the internet, she kind of just seems like
she wants to be kind of removed from the whole like mafia of the family, because it seems like Kim was kind of telling her about how she was like copying her wedding, like how like Kourtney had a wedding in Italy and Kim had Italy, and like it was just kind of like so many similarities. And so I feel like Kim, she hates her shine being taken away.
Nah, definitely. I mean, I always felt like as in your face as like a Khloe Kardashian is, she is the black sheep a little bit because she was not they don't have the same dad.
Yeah.
And she's also taller and a different looking person than them.
Yeah.
You know? I kind of feel like she doesn't give a fuck anymore either. She does a lot of interviews and she's just like she's just fucking around, man.
She seems it, but I also feel like she is like so like family oriented though. That's what she seems like on the show. Like she like
Courtney seems like, I mean, she's not, I don't know how old she is, but when I mean old and tired, I don't actually mean like old necessarily, but I mean that that feeling of being old and tired. I think she's tired. She's like
sick of it. She wants to just like chill with her hubby. And
I mean, she had such a bad relationship back when the Kardashians were out, which was the Scott Disick thing, and like having a kid with him.
He was on the show for the first season.
Yeah, he was. I remember.
Why are you even here? Like, why are you here right now? Like, you're so irrelevant. And like because
so those are the few things I know about it, like from the few episodes scenes with friends and stuff, and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, from the new show that they have out.
No, the old show. That's all I know about it.
No, I'm talking about the new show.
Oh, the new show? He's on it?
He's on it. Yeah. Because like
I mean, I guess they have they had children, but
Khloe and him are tight. Like Khloe and him are like besties in the show. And I'm like, why are you even here? Like, I know that you're like their kid's dad or whatever, her kid's dad, but you're such a piece of shit, and like he's still a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if he's like in this latest. He was on it, and I was like, what the fuck? But I'm siding with Courtney because it just seems like Kim is just down her throat, and the mafia aspect of the family is a little like much. But anyway,
I mean, going back to the subject of like spotlights and overhyping and other things. I mean, the Kardashians in general was just such what a weird obsession. Well, like reality TV, I'm not okay. I can't say I'm not into reality TV but I like very specific things. I like cooking shows, which technically is like reality, like competition shows. That's reality
reality show, yeah.
They're competition and it's happening. It's reality TV, technically.
Yeah.
I did when I was younger. Me and my family used to watch Survivor, but that was like the first couple seasons. I used to like watch The Voice. Only the first 2 seasons. Only because in the first season there was a singer she was the runner up actually, Dia Frampton. She was from a band that I used to listen to when I was like a teenager. And there was like American Idol. I watched maybe the first couple seasons. I'll give into the hype of some shows. I try to watch Masked Singer, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it just made me frustrated. Because all the hints, made me frustrated. Because when they try to give you hints to guess who the singer is, they're just not good hints at all, and they're just more frustrating than anything. And because it's not just singers, it's all celebrities and some of them happen to be good at singing, so it's even harder that way. But like the hints were always like shitty, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like you wouldn't even fucking know. I tried the first couple seasons. I had a friend that was an editor for a couple of those episodes too. Cool. But like it was just like I got frustrated. I'm like, I can't ever guess who any of these people are. I did get maybe 2 things right. Just the hints one time maybe kind of helped me, but I was like, okay, wow, I actually got that one right. Or the voice sounded familiar enough where I was like, that's gotta be like this person.
Right. Yeah. I never really I really tried to get into that show, but I just couldn't get like past the masks and stuff like that. It felt like so gimmicky to me or something.
That's the point. The outfits are supposed to distract you from the voice so that you can't guess who it is from anything.
Yeah, I was just kind of like,
I didn't like how the judges melded. Like, I didn't like Robin Thicke very much on it. He was kind of just annoying. Nicole Scherzinger, she was fine. I don't know. The way they interacted with each other was just, I don't know. It felt weird.
Yeah. I used to watch The Voice too. Like definitely like the first like several seasons. Like now there's like an insane number of seasons.
I should have watched the season with Kelly Clarkson because I do love
I watched a couple. I think she was
only because she just has a great voice and
she was so fun on it. She was really fun on it.
She's like, also competitive as hell and it's funny as fuck. So funny.
Like her and Blake was like, it was funny.
I mean, going back to like overhypeness and things like that, all reality TV in general is just so crazy. It's like Love Island and all these other things. It's just so I don't get it fully, but we watched The Ultimatum, you know, stuff but like that. I think it's like this weird desire to like drama, and reality TV is usually full of drama. I mean, when Real World and Road Rules were like the reality shows, I even watched those back in the early 2000s and 90s.
Yeah.
Drama. We like drama.
Ice. Tea.
Look, my queer ass loves the tea. I love drama when it's not my own.
Exactly. Same.
So it is interesting. I mean, we obviously pay attention to pop culture at least a little bit, where we know most of this stuff. I don't know. Like, I won't say that overhyping or overpopularity is a bad thing necessarily, because it's always different for every person. It may be. I think my thing, like with a movie, if someone overhypes something, it's like annoying because then my expectations are too high, and then. Falls flat. Even though if the movie is probably good, but my expectations were already too high, and maybe that's what I feel about
when you set them up like too high. It's so easy to come down.
That's what I think people think of pop culture. People who aren't super into pop culture, but then they have friends that are too into it, and they hype you up, and it really sucks because then maybe they miss out on artists because they were overhyped, and then. From their friend, and they couldn't get into it because it was overhyped, because subconsciously you're just annoyed more than anything, and then they might pass up on a good artist, although albeit an overhyped artist, but they might not like him just because subconsciously you're annoyed. I think, at this point
I think I'm like that in the way, you know, where like I won't listen to too many mainstream artists just because like I hear them everywhere already. So like I just won't. Like I'm like that with Beyonce, you know. I'll listen to her stuff when she comes out with it, but after a while I'm like, okay, it's enough, because I'm gonna listen to it on a TikTok, I'm gonna listen to it on a reel, I'm gonna listen to it on the radio, everywhere else that I have no control of listening to it, I will listen to it.
I will say TikTok unfortunately overplays things a lot too, and that fucking bums me out.
100%. Like I'll know a TikTok song off the radio or like when I'm listening to it, and I'll just know like 30 seconds of it because of TikTok. And then I'll only know the hook because of TikTok. So when the song plays, I'm like, I don't know the song. And then the hook plays and I'm like, oh, I do know this. It's the TikTok song.
Right. Which, I mean, I know TikTok has helped a lot of artists like get out there and stuff. So that's cool. Sure. But like sometimes too many people try to do the trends too hard, and then or like way after already, and it's like, oh, damn, I have to listen to the song again. I have to skip through a lot sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
When it comes to some of the artists were cool. I was like, ooh, what is this song?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah.
But yeah, I guess like when it comes to like overhyped stuff on the internet, like reality shows, do you think that there are too many reality shows? Do you think that some are unnecessary? Because I feel like I've never seen so many reality shows.
Sure, there's a lot, and it's overwhelming for some people, but there's always an audience that's going to watch it. And I can't judge that necessarily. I'm ADHD as fuck. I watch a million fucking things. Facts. And to be honest, although overwhelming, I have to scroll through shit, at least there's things I can choose from, and I'll watch it, you know? I watch the most random shit. You know?
Dude, I was in a slump because I didn't know what to watch, because I just finished like 5 seasons of The Glow Up on Netflix.
I can't get into The Glow Up.
Oh my god!
I know you've been into it, but I can't.
It's so fine. Like it's so niche.
I don't know what it is. I just can't. No, I've tried to watch it before.
Okay.
Even before you had started watching it, like I had tried to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just couldn't get into it super much.
It's fine. But I was just like so into it, and I wanted something like that. but I couldn't. So I was just kind of like going through all of the apps. I was like, what do I want to watch? And so I get on Prime and I'm watching this show called The Horror of Dolores Roach. Have you heard of this?
Is it scary?
Dude, it's not scary. It's like more suspenseful. It's more suspenseful.
Okay, I'll take that.
But it's basically Washington Heights version of Sweeney Todd.
What?
That's what I can tell you. And instead of meat pies, it's empanadas.
Oh, empanadas! You think empanada mama is feeding us? It's okay, I'll still eat it because it's delicious.
No. I mean, no, but it's like, I can't even say anything else because I'm like in episode 4 and shit is just getting crazier.
But go back to what you were saying, like things that are like almost over prominent. Like, I get it. It's a lot. And honestly, the internet. Why is English so hard for me lately?
The wine that you saucy.
No, I'm perfectly fine, and I'm upset.
Yeah, you do. You do look fine.
But I feel like the internet just moves so fast, though, that it can get overwhelming and things get overhyped much quicker, which you could avoid. It's whatever. I still like I could still like something that's overhyped, but not because it was hyped. It was because it was probably just good. But it is weird when it gets so crazy, you know? I don't know how to feel about it, but then again, maybe some stuff, maybe I wouldn't have even found it unless it was like hyped up.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot. I don't know how I feel about it.
I think it's cool that like some stuff can get overhyped and some stuff can go viral. That's so cool. Like the success of like a creator, you know, now is just kind of like crazy. Like, do you know Tube Girl? Everybody has think pieces, and what it is those think pieces go viral. And like that helps her as well. She's apparently gotten brand deals from a whole bunch of places. Like she's been invited like to like do a brand deal with like, I think it was like BMW or Bentley, and like to do her little like shit thing like for some other brand, like for Fashion Week or something like that. And I'm like, wow, that's insane. I do think TikTok's really cool because you don't know what's gonna go viral, and I do think it's helpful, especially for create like artists, both visual and music and like audio, you know, musicians and or people who draw and stuff, visual artists and like. And then just normal ass people who maybe are just kind of funny, you know, or comedians. You know, I do think it's really cool, but I also think that it's so prominent now that too many people are trying to do it, though. You know, which is fine, but there's stuff like when you see like families and they're putting their kids all over it. And I'm not a fan of that.
I don't really like those because especially with young kids, the internet has creeps, bro. You can't. You know, I have little nieces and little nephews. Well, okay, my nephews aren't really little anymore. But I got little nieces who you've met, you know, and the most that my family shares is on Facebook, which is just other family, you know. But I can't. Sometimes I'm worried because my mom does go on the internet and like I don't know if she's gonna share that stuff. Like she has an Instagram now. A little afraid she's gonna post stuff a little bit. And it's mostly because, you know, my parents are older and they don't necessarily know stuff on the internet necessarily. I mean, I'd probably call it out if she does post anything. She doesn't really post much. But there's just weird people on the internet. And you can tell when people are trying to exploit their families for the gram, the TikTok. And it's different than like, that it gets almost borderline Kris Jenner, except not as well done. And
not as well done. It'll never be as well done.
Not as planned. So they're trying to do that, and then they have like their young kids and kids who are in the younger generation who are aware of these things, who are like, I don't want to be on your camera, bro.
Yeah.
I saw like a whole article or like a TikTok, someone talking about it, where parents are trying to get famous on the internet with their kids and stuff.
They're using their kids for clout. That's kids weird. For clout.
If I had kids, I just don't. I would have to at least wait till they were an age of consent. That I'd be like, are you okay with being on camera?
100%. Because like
it's one thing if they're like a baby, like a newborn, and it's just like a thing of their face or something. You know, not anything else. Just like them smiling or something. I don't know.
Right.
But like, when they're a little older, toddler to being more aware of things is like, oh, you know, it's maybe too much. Yeah, and I'm not a parent, so I you know, don't try to come at me. But you know, I have siblings who are parents, and then also have young nieces and nephews in my life. So it's like,
right. I think
I can imagine doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that consent is an issue. I think that especially for families, because I feel like there's a right way to go about that. If you want to vlog about your family, you know, if you want to vlog about being a parent, like a new parent or whatever it is, there's a way of doing that where you don't exploit your kid for this clout or for money or for brands, whatever it is you want to do, you know. Because I think, like you said, there's a bunch of dangerous people out there who will use that content for not so good.
Going back to what we were saying earlier, like if you're any sort of celebrity, whether it's you got TikTok famous or you're like an actor, your privacy is out the window. And you have to set your boundaries for yourself to figure out how you'll handle, you know, your outside persona. Because there are still celebrities who are still pretty low key, and most of their private life is pretty private, except for their acting jobs or something.
Oh yeah.
Or even as TikToker influencers, you know, I still think there are a good amount of influencers that probably still keep some stuff private and only have this person. They have only an outside persona that is for the internet.
Yep.
You know,
1,000%. I think you have to be pretty skilled in marketing yourself and finding the balance between what you want to keep private and what you want to expose to the world. I feel like I've seen a lot of vloggers do that, like a lot of influencers do that, kind of like reveal whatever they want to reveal at the right time. I seen it with, you know, all these people like Beyonce pretty private.
Yeah,
looping it back to her, like she's pretty private, and like I think she reveals only what she wants to reveal at the right time that it benefits her. And I think that's pretty smart. And like, because I feel like she knows a lot about what goes on in the internet about her and stuff like that. I mean,
Destiny's Child, I think they were relatively young when they came out for the most part.
Yes.
So, you know, you learn some stuff over the years.
For sure. And like, you know, she's like, Beyonce has, you know, lived through all these decades, you know, being in the limelight, and she's probably learned a few things. Her father has probably taught her some things. Her mother has probably taught her some things, you know, like she knows what to do. But I also feel like other people aren't that smart.
No, well, it's also overwhelming. Sometimes some of these trends, although cool that a normal person can get famous on TikTok, I don't know if some of those people were prepared for it.
No, you know? Absolutely
they probably
not.
Were just. I'm sure there's people who are just posting some funny shit. Obviously, you're posting stuff on the internet to be seen, but you know, you think it's just some people that'll laugh with you at the silly thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
But then you get like viral, and at first it's like cool, but at the same time, wasn't ready for that.
Exactly. You know? And it's so easy to like be influenced by the people that are engaging content, and you're kind of just like swept up by that, and you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, like now I need to post more, now I need to like create content,
people pleasers
and please the people that are engaging with me so I don't lose them.
I think I lose them, that's it. Some of the people I've followed like through OG years, I've talked about her before, Mega Mattoon, where she's the same age as us. I've followed her OG YouTube. She was one of the OG YouTubers, a dancer, obviously, and I watched her dance videos and stuff. And she now has like a completely different life. I still follow her on like Instagram and TikTok and stuff. And I kind of respect her in a lot of ways because she'll be very open to that. Like, I'm having another place in my life where I'm switching careers, or I'm just having a different having an ego death that I'm going through, that I am now going through a new thing. And it's very interesting because we are the same age, and I've always found her very fascinating in that aspect because she is someone that I followed for so long. She reached a certain point of popularity, you know, that she still is kind of at. She still has her old audience, to be honest. That and like people who are still, who didn't change careers necessarily and are big, but I feel are still humble to the roots. Tori Kelly, another OG YouTuber that I used to follow. Her and AJ Raphael were really best friends, and they still are. And I used to follow them all the time. And now Tori Kelly is like high status, popular musician. But you know, she still is friends with like AJ Raphael and some of her OG YouTube friends, still very humble in that aspect. But still, she just released some new music and is a huge thing. And everybody knows a Tori Kelly run. You can recognize it a mile away if you hear her sing it.
Yeah, her new music is pretty good.
It's why she lost Masked Singer, because everybody heard her voice and was like, that's Tori Kelly.
Oh, she was on it too? That's funny.
Was definitely lost because everybody recognized her voice. So
Of course.
But like, it's interesting to see these OG YouTubers that were like the pre-influencers before influencing was a thing.
Right.
And that I still follow to this day. And they're different paths, but still like grew in their own right and still share what they share or need to share or wanted to change careers or stayed in their career. It's a whole different thing.
I find it really interesting and pretty brave to watch some YouTubers publicly change paths.
It's crazy.
Because like that's got to be so crazy to have the followers and like the subscribers that you have, for everyone to follow you for this thing and to trust your audience that they will still stick around after you kind of like say these things and say like I've switched stuff, like this channel is going to be different now. Now you're gonna see different things. And like I feel like that's a true testament to the influence that they have and like the personality and stuff, because like now you realize like, wow, if you guys stay with me, you like me for me, like y'all like me because like I'm this person, and no matter what I do, like y'all still fuck with me. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool, like with Miss Batoon and her changes, and I've stayed
exactly
for a long time. You stayed, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who have stayed the same as I have, because I felt like it was pretty real, the things that she shared. And hey, I'm changing stuff again. You know, that's what is it? And then still with other people who maybe didn't change in ways of their personality, maybe not their career, but like their personality, like Tori Kelly. You know? She's out there, she's more popular and like being in the space of being famous, you know?
Do you know influencers or whatever?
Wait, you cut out. Repeat.
I was gonna say, did you have any influencers, like vloggers or whatever, that you used to follow like so much, and like they changed and now you're not kind of into them anymore?
I don't think I've really had that. I think the ones who I stopped following, maybe I just kind of lost interest. Maybe it's not because they necessarily changed. I just maybe didn't like their content as much. And it's not them them being a bad person or anything. It's just, I don't know, maybe I just kind of fell off from my interest in them. And that's pretty much it. There might be one or two, though, who did turn out to be like pieces of shit. So, you know, stop following them. Which happens a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out about a lot of celebrities and a lot of people. And unfortunately, that is the world. And like, that's a whole other conversation. Maybe it's because I was gonna go into the topic of just like, you know, people. How much can you actually separate an artist from their work?
That's a tricky subject,
because I think there's an extent that but maybe that's a topic for the next time. So
yeah, we can talk about that next time. But
we do need to probably wrap up a little bit. But yeah,
it's just interesting take. I feel like I feel the same. An artist that like kind of like popped into my head just now is do you know Ray, Raye? British girl. I used to follow her like pretty like a lot back in the day. Like, and I feel like I hate being that type of person, but I think when artists kind of like blow up and they have that one song that makes them blow up, their music kind of like slightly changes from what they used to do. And like maybe I was never a fan in the first place or whatever, but I think that her music started sounding like more poppy and like less than like what she originally did.
Well, the thing with musicians too, and I don't hold it against many of them, everything's subjective to me, and I just feel like people can grow because when you're first releasing music or any sort of body of work, I think it's always going to change. Yeah. I mean, look at Paramore. They've gone through a ton of different changes from like the alt rock emo music that I had when I was 13. I'm 32 now, just if you guys want to know my fucking age. But
I think they know. I think, yeah.
But like 13, like All We Know Is Falling came out when I was like 12 or 13. Because I think Hayley Williams is only a few years older than us.
Yeah, not much.
But she was a teenager essentially when those came out. And I've listened to them over years. I told you that Paramore concert I went to back in July was the first time I've seen them since 2009. And it hasn't been because I've fallen off of listening to them or anything. But I will say when I went to the show, I forgot how much I really liked that band. Yep. You know, I've always still liked them and always been like Hayley Williams, you know, great. But being back at the show was like, I forgot how much I love that band. But they have gone through so many sounds and different things. They got more dancey songs. They got more serious, slow songs. They have more rock sounding songs. But you can see how much a band can change, but still hold a lot of relevance. So maybe you're right that maybe you weren't really a fan in the first place. And maybe you bought into the famous song because it was a trendy song at the time. And who knows? Maybe it was catchy and you're like, yeah, I like the song, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you liked the artist. Maybe you just like that song.
I feel like that's my true test when I'm like really digging an artist and then like, you know, they come out with something new. Like, will I like it? Because like, you know, you don't have to like every song on an album for them to be like your fave. But I feel like a good maybe like 60 to 70% of an album, if you like it, it's like, okay, you like the artist, right? You know? So I feel like Paramore for me, I feel like I'm like that for every album Paramore comes out with. I agree. Yeah. Like I'm gonna like it some way. Yeah. I'm still gonna like it because I think that the integrity,
even one of the albums that I wasn't a huge fan of, I still like.
And I think that's why it is. I mean, like Hayley's a big help because like Hayley's just like undeniable and like, and everyone loves Paramore. So crazy. Like,
it's like, crazy how many people all agree with really as a collective. I mean, when they were on their tour, all the different celebs they had as guests. I mean, like Rico Nasty, Stephen Curry from the Warriors, and a few other people. And then, or I'd see videos of like celebs at a Paramore concert. It is so funny. It's like when you see a celeb at a Taylor Swift concert. It's just so funny to watch celebrities be fans of other celebrities.
Exactly. I think it's so funny. It's so cute. And it's so like wholesome, you know, because it's like, oh my God,
Hayley Williams is like universally loved by so many people. Not that she's not going to be perfect. Like you can't hold any celebrity being perfect anyways, which is the problem about overhyping and like celebrity status is that people will put people on a pedestal and think they're perfect and defend. And I'm sure she's had her issues. I mean, when with her former partner who was a former band member, there's a lot of bad blood there. Exactly. But you know, no one's perfect. She was also a teen. Like back when she stopped singing "Misery Business" at concerts because she's a whore in it.
Yeah.
But you know, she was like 16, 17 when she wrote that lyric. You know,
it's hard to grow up, and I think that what she is like. Feel like she's like a perfect example of like a flawed human that is like visibly always trying to improve herself and like sing like how she feels through her music, and she does it so well.
Any last thoughts about trends, pop culture overhypeness?
If I'm seeing it overhyped, I want to know about it. That's it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm gonna look into it. I feel like there's people that are like, oh, it's popular, I hate it. And honestly, I'm not.
I don't care. I'm gonna see what's
I'm
up.
not an asshole.
I'm gonna see what the hype is about. Thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, like, subscribe, email us at 30dirty.
Like I say every episode, no one's emailed us.
30dirty@gmail.com. That is mean. Why
I'll take a funny GIF. I'll take a recipe. I'll take
honestly, a recipe. If y'all have any Thanksgiving